everybody. Welcome to another version of Bros Pod. Bill Roden on Sports, here with my friend and co-host, Jamal Murphy. I'm holding it down in an undisclosed location, a location upstate New York. And I want to say that this podcast is being brought to you by AI. What you're looking at is not really me and Jamal. We've used a program called Create Black Men, and it's basically you think that you're looking at us, but it is a program that basically is recreating me and Jamal. So just when you thought that you were looking at me and Jamal through the magic of AI, you're really not. You're really not. You're listening to two AI re- reproductions of Bill Roden and Jamal Murray. Just when y'all thought it couldn't happen, all I got to do is my authentic self. Well, AI now can take over your authentic self too. So, you know,
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel every day. Whenever I see anything, I don't know if it's real or not, Bill. I'm always like, well, I don't know if that interview is real. Like, I don't know if I could quote that. You
they
never
said
know.
they do this. Wait a minute, did you hear that? Roden and Jamal, it wasn't even them. So we could say some controversial shit, and
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't us.
It was
We
AI. It was AI.
I was up in Martha's Vineyard fishing. It wasn't even me. We just hit a button. We just hit a button, and we just gave us some topics to deal with. And don't worry about it. Just we'll put it together.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure they can do that now. You
we're
give us some
working on it.
topics, they'll just, you know, they know what we talk about. So I'm sure they could figure out a way to put something together.
Yeah, but the fact we could create two black men, you know, and we could just it'd be like Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith, the old puppets, where you just kind of talk. Anyway, just
Right.
kidding. Just in case you were wondering, you
Right.
know, maybe
Just
that
kidding.
should go virtual.
Yeah.
Put a
Just
clip
kidding.
on it. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, they're not. No, they're not. Kidding. Anyway, so we'll this is the dog days of summer, but the WNBA is in front and center in
Right.
the news. Um, and since we did a podcast show, how long ago we did a podcast, we didn't even do LeBron James going to Philadelphia, but we'll get to that
Yeah, we'll
near the
get
end
to
of the
that.
show. But Jamal, you were schooling me about all the news because you were just at the Liberties game, and you
Right.
were schooling me on all the hot issues uh, in the WNBA. So maybe you should, not that I don't not pay attention to it, but you were really on top of all this.
Right. I mean, like you said, it's the dog days of summer. So, and really, right now it's WNBA season. There's nothing. There's nothing else. I mean, you got, I all. My apologies to baseball, but it feels like WNBA season in terms of stories right now.
Yeah,
And even the basketball. I mean, good storylines in basketball. The Minnesota Lynx, best team in the league with my girl who I've been talking about
my girl,
for years, Olivia Miles.
Olivia
I was
Miles.
talking about her. Now she's a toast of the town, Bill. You
Right.
gotta listen. You gotta listen to me, Bill. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Oh wait,
telling
oh
you.
Jamal, don't even try it, man. I was talking about Olivia Miles. Don't even. I was gonna let it slide. I was just gonna let it slide. Then you throw me under the bus. So Bill, you got to look like. Come on, man. I was
Hey,
writing
man.
about Olivia Miles during the NCAA tournament.
Well, there you go. So you're there with me, Bill. I thought I was the only one, but I forgot. Bill was on Olivia too.
Except she didn't make the Team USA. She wasn't
Yeah,
listed on Team USA.
that's ridiculous, man. She's breaking Caitlin Clark's rookie records, fastest to this, fastest to that. Great player. So
She's a great player.
yeah, great player as a rookie. Then Aces. They're still doing their thing. Liberty. I was at the Liberty Aces game, like you said. But the big news in the WNBA, and to me, it's annoying and it's a fake story. But the big story, unfortunately, is this trans issue where all these right wing outlets and right wing Republicans screaming about, oh, we got to worry about these trans athletes in sports and what are we going to do and this and that. But you know what? It's never happened.
I know. I
Like
know.
what are we
Name
talking
one.
about? Yeah,
Name
name
one.
one. I know in the Olympics a couple things have come close to happening, but then they banned the person. So this is not a real issue. Like this is not happening, but they want us to believe, people on the right want us to believe this is a real issue. And I was saying before, kind of like how they created a whole like reverse racism
Right.
issue that people
How
bought
can
into,
right.
right?
Right.
And still
That's unbelievable.
to this day, people talk to you about white men are being discriminated against in this country.
Right.
So it's what
Yeah.
you can say, whatever. You can make an issue out of anything, Bill.
Somebody used that all the way to the White House.
Exactly.
I'm for you. I'm for you.
Exactly.
All the troubles in the world are not your fault. The reason why you're not succeeding is not your fault. It's the trans, it's the blacks, it's the browns. It's not you. It's not you. It's everybody else.
Right.
So,
So
and that is the
now they're trying to protect like white girls.
right.
Okay. So they don't have to, compete against the
The rest, the real world.
the straw man argument of a possible trans athlete uh, that they'd have to compete against. So this fake news stuff is going on, but of
But
course,
they turned on your girl, right? They turned on your girl Caitlin Clark, right?
yeah, because one of course, so her teammate Sophie Cunningham kind of fanned the flames a little bit when they asked her about it, and she gave it wings by saying, "Oh, I want to protect the women out there. It's unfair, trans, But again, they never talked to it actually happening, So it's all like hypothetical. I mean, it's a big issue. So then they asked Caitlin Clark about it, her teammate, Sophie Cunningham's teammate. They asked her about it a couple days later, and she didn't want to touch it, right? And really, ever since Sophie Cunningham, no one has wanted to touch it. And so Caitlin Clark said, "Well, no, this is not something we talk about in the locker room. We're here to talk about the game. Like, this is not an issue for us." And then, of course, on Twitter, MAGA starts attacking Caitlin Clark. Oh, she's a traitor. She's a sellout. Oh my God, she can't answer the question. She can't just admit that trans are taking over the WNBA.
Oh my God!
So
Take it to the spit, tire and burn them.
So I said this before. I feel sorry for Caitlin half the time because I'm like, yeah. Do I agree with everything she does? No, but I mean, she's not out there. She's not full blown MAGA talking like. So
she doesn't say anything.
She
She doesn't
can't
say
say anything.
She saves most of her vitriol for the WNBA refs. That's
Exactly. That's
they
who
may
she has
have a
beef with.
problem.
Right. That's
She
who
got
should
a
have a
beef
problem
with
with
the
Caitlin.
refs.
The refs should have a problem
Right.
with Caitlin. So and then I was like I said, I was at the Liberty game last night, and those reporters, they asked the question. They asked Breonna Stewart, "Hey, the trans issue," and now we'll get to this too. Now that Enos Cantor and Royce White, I think it was, they came out saying they want to play in the WNBA now, which is a joke. But they asked Breonna Stewart about it, and she just said no comment. She wouldn't comment on it. The Liberty coach wouldn't comment on it, and that was it. But I mean, it's just like the whole thing. These idiots create this story, then the media plays into it by asking the questions all the time. And I understand everybody needs clicks and all that. And then
We need content.
content, of course, which we're creating right now. Maybe it might be AI. We never know. Never know
AI.
if this
Well,
is
AI
real or not.
said that. I'm saying this, but AI said that.
Right. If I say anything appropriate, it was AI.
It's AI. AI
Okay.
made me do it.
But now you got Enos Cantor and this guy Royce White. Basically, Enos Cantor, obviously an ex NBA player for a number of years, 10 years maybe, and now but both of these guys have a history of mental issues. Okay, and they come out saying, "Oh, I want to play in the WNBA now," and then where do they end up on Fox News and all this? So it's just it's just a complete joke. And then the commissioner Kathy Engelberg, I think she kind of fanned the flames also, like saying, "Oh, we're gonna have discussions about this trans athlete issue." There's
What's
no
the
issue.
discussion? What's the discussion? There's no discussion. It's a 1 minute, if that, discussion.
Right. So she falls in, like they all fall into this. Like they're just and then we got members of the media. Oh, this trans issue is real. It's real. It's not real. Name me the time that a trans athlete, someone who was born male, and transitioned to a female. Tell me where they are in the WNBA and when this issue.
Are they trying to get in? Yeah.
Right,
Maybe
or
maybe it's Cantor. Maybe that's
right.
Cantor. Maybe Cantor is transgender.
Right. Oh, and then you got these scenarios that these people come up with. Whoa, what What if there's an NBA player? It's all hypothetical. What if there's an NBA player? He doesn't quite make it. He's stuck in the G League. He can always just go. He can change his gender and go to the WNBA. This is unacceptable. What player? What? Well, who's gonna do that?
LeBron. Or maybe Bronny. Maybe Bronny. I can't be a star in the NBA. I'll transition.
And the NBA is more important than my gender. That's what they're saying. Okay.
Oh my God. It must be August.
Oh.
Training camp. We won't have something, but the WNBA is wise. I mean, they got. We're steaming toward the playoffs.
Right.
The Aces are trying to make it 2 in a row. I guess 3 of the last 4 years, or is it going to be 4? It'll be 3. They won again last year.
Right.
Make it back to back.
The Liberty won the year before that.
But then it was the Aces before that.
Yeah,
so the Aces won 3 of the last 4. So now they're trying to make it 4 of the last 5.
Right, a straight up dynasty, if they're not already.
No transgender issue. I mean, it's just basketball.
Just
straight up basketball.
Just basketball, which continues to get better, and with more and more great women players, and we don't, and then they just make up this trans issue. But remember, the trans issue is hitting the WNBA now, but this was like a big, this was one of the reasons Trump won. This was like a big issue in politics. Like they tried to gin this up, and this was, Democrats, they don't care if men play against, like they just make all this stuff up, and they're really just using the WNBA as a political tool, and it's working, and it works because idiots in the sports media go along with it.
Yeah, but again, they're turning on Caitlin Clark, who, I mean, they're now making her a sympathetic figure. Who would ever thought, like a month ago when she was like villain number 1 and white privilege, and who did you just say said white privilege? Who's your girl who had the hard foul?
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, well, it was on Sophie Cunningham a couple of days ago.
Sophie Cunningham, right.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, Dejanay Carrington, she played at Baylor. She's been in the league a long time. She's like a defensive specialist. She's Sophie Cunningham has a breakaway layup. Carrington's going for the chase down LeBron style block. She mistimes it and ends up basically clotheslining. So,
that was a hell of a foul.
Yeah, it was a real foul. I thought it was, definitely warranted a flagrant. No question about that. Ejection, I think in the NBA that wouldn't be an ejection, but based on the context and the fight that happened afterwards, I get it a little bit that they ejected her. But the funny thing to me was after the game, she just tweets white privilege. Which, so of course there's a certain segment of society that's all up in arms about that. Oh, what is she talking about? White privilege. She tried to kill Sophie Cunningham. She's talking about white. Well, first of all, it's almost like the race card. Like, hey, don't get mad if I bring it up. Stop.
Being privileged.
Yeah, stop with the white privilege, and no one will say it. That's all you gotta do. Stop.
Yeah, well, how are my kids gonna get to school? We need white privilege.
Right, so stop running the country based off white privilege, and people won't tell you about it.
Oh, there you go. There's one of your favorite. There's one of your favorite shows. Your favorite morning basketball shows. We always joke that half the stuff we said if we got on, they'll do the white host. You'll bring up some racist shit. Oh, there you go. Oh, come on. And they did that to somebody. They have one of their favorite black call came in, and he brought up a racial dynamic of something that was, that was true. And then, your guy, Frank Escal, of course, typical, would you call him? Bensonhurst Frank. He said,
Bay Ridge Frank. I would go, Bensonhurst is even worse, but I'll give him Bay Ridge.
Bay Ridge. Oh, come on. Yeah. When you get that, oh, come on. They don't even let you get it out.
No, they don't want to hear it.
Come on.
They don't want to hear it. So it's just like, so I actually praise Carrington for that one because, I like tweaking these people, man. Stop. if it's so upsetting to you, stop doing it. How about that?
We can't. We can't. We're addicted to it. It's an addiction. You don't understand. You don't understand. It's an addiction. We have to do it. You know.
Right.
Anyway, but
You're
yeah,
right.
so I'm excited about the WNBA. You know, the playoffs. We were talking about that. We had a discussion this month, friends, and how what made the World Cup exciting is that it was basically playoffs. I mean, it was the
Right.
best. And
Right.
then for you to think I'm going to go back and watch the MLS, you got to be nuts, man. I mean,
Well, Bill,
I,
I tried actually. Remember,
you can't.
I told you I was so hype off of the World Cup, and you were like, "Oh, you're going to start watching." So
And you
MLS,
tried,
I tried MLS. They actually had MLS on like the next day, like after the cup
right?
finished, and I tried to watch it. I'm like, I can't do
It was like slow motion. It was like like the Clayman.
like
Like
guys you never heard of. It'd be
kicking the
like
shit
it
all
was
up in
like
the
watching
stand.
G League basketball.
Right.
Like,
Right. How are you going to
yeah.
watch the NBA finals and then let me watch the G League? The, no, man. I'm sorry. It's
Right.
just not the same product. Even Messi looked different. You mean this guy?
No, yeah. Come on, Messi brought a whole different level to the World Cup than he does to his MLS games. There's no question about that. And then you
Uh,
deal with guys you never heard of. You know, in the World Cup, you've heard of some of these guys,
well, the
even
World
if you
Cup
don't
was
follow them.
it was
Right,
exactly that. It was like the best in the world.
right,
And brothers everywhere. Norway, Sweden,
right,
Scandinavia, the
right,
Netherlands,
right.
Portugal, Spain, not Argentina, by the way, not
Not
Argentina.
Argentina. Even though I
Oh,
think
you said they
Argentina
got
had
one, right?
they got one, but a young kid. I think they have their first black player,
They
and
brought him over from Haiti.
he's like
They
under 16 or under 17, something like that.
just go find me somebody. Just find me someone.
But yeah, no, the World Cup, like, and even at the time, people were like, "Oh, you're gonna go watch the Premier League and all that stuff," and I'm like, I mean, even the people with the sports, the soccer aficionados,
Right.
they all go like you're judged by what you do in the World Cup. They talk about number of World Cup wins, number of World Cup goals. That's what puts you in the history books.
Yeah.
Not what you
Yeah.
do in the Premier League.
Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about that, about the World Cup. I mean, baseball, man. I mean, this is like,
Mm,
there's a reason, wait till the playoffs, you
right.
know. But to be honest with you, even in the NBA, I mean, it's such a
Oh yeah.
long season. I'm like, man, can we just get to the playoffs where it really matters? Now, the NFL is a little different just
Yeah.
because
NFL
it's
is
just
different.
rock 'em, sock 'em, people getting their brains, you know. The NFL is a little different.
Yeah,
You
it's
only
different.
have, well,
They
what
play
is
once a
17?
week. Once a
Once a
week.
week,
And the
and there's a lot
weekend,
of hype.
yeah, big. The weekend is just a big deal. The Sunday's a big deal. Every Sunday, it's totally different. The
Yeah,
NFL regular season is in great shape.
yeah, it's different. Even if they have it on 12 different
That's true.
streaming services,
Yeah, on every day of the week now.
Yeah, I mean, there could be. There is a time in the middle, near the end of the season, where it's on one Sunday.
Right.
Sunday, you may have.
Yeah.
Am I going to watch the 0-12?
Right.
So unless it's Shador Sanders, you know.
Right. Right. No, you're right. Yeah, it has to get towards the end of the NFL season. It gets to like, okay, this
When you
is
have two teams that you
right.
thought at the beginning were going to be great, and they're both
Right.
1-15.
But in the NBA, it only takes 2 weeks
I
to
know.
get tired
Right.
because I'm a big basketball NBA fan. So like that first couple weeks, and you're like, oh, these new teams, what do they look like? Like when we'll talk about LeBron and Philly. I want to watch Philly in that first couple weeks of the season, but then all of a sudden you're gonna be like, all right, I've seen enough, and you're
Right.
just gonna wait for the
Joel Embiid's
playoffs.
hurt.
Right.
Embiid is hurt.
Right.
Uh, LeBron may, something,
Load
you know,
management.
load management. Uh, now Jalen Brown typically usually plays. I mean,
Oh
Jalen
yeah,
Brown,
he plays.
unless he gets down there and says, "This is ridiculous." And B, he's already said Embiid flops.
That's right.
He's already
That's right.
called him a flopper.
That's right. I'm
And
sure he's
now
called him since then. Since the trade, I'm sure he's called him, made up
hey
with him.
brother,
Like, I
listen,
was
man, it was
just,
all hype.
I flopped too, brother. I flopped too.
Yeah, I flopped. It's just we as a team can't flop. We as a nation can't flop. Yeah. And then poor
Uh,
VJ Edgecombe and
yeah, rookie
Maxey.
Maxi.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just wondering what those real conversations. VJ said, man, how am I going? I was about to get in my own. I was about to like break out.
They
And
also
they,
signed Drew Holiday. Speaking of that, speaking of Edgecombe,
oh,
so
they did.
yeah, they signed
Oh
Drew
wow.
Holiday to a cheap deal. So
Yeah.
they,
What about the
they're
guy
going for
Simons?
it, Bill.
Simons is pretty good, right? The guy.
Yeah, they got him. They got him. So it's a crowded backcourt over there.
Philly. So now, man, I'm gonna have to be going down to Philadelphia.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
good. Yeah. I need to contact easier than the Knicks.
no,
I need to contact the
don't say
Philly
anything.
Philly
Don't say anything about
PR.
the Knicks, brother. V.
Uh,
You walking on, we walk on shaky
that's true.
ground.
That's true. That's true. Shout out to my guy
Shout
Jamal
out.
Hussein
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
all good. Knicks all
It's
good.
it's all
You
good.
know, but I was just automatically now they still have something to prove because as soon as they made first when they people are still pissed about the Jalen Brown trade, and then when they got LeBron, all of a sudden the Knicks now are they're not the favorites anymore.
Right.
It's Philadelphia.
I mean, I know we don't care at this point, but
No,
do you agree with that? Do you think the Knicks should be the favorite? Do you think
I
Philly,
don't I don't care,
this
man.
monster team? Are you excited by this Philly
Well,
team?
I'm excited about as I wrote in my column. I thought about pairing LeBron James with Jalen Brown, and
Off
I
the
thought
court,
that was it, off the court.
right?
Yeah, I mean, although in the blurb I talked about how much of a how loudly people are how loudly LeBron James stands up for blackness and all that, and then someone one of the comments said he ain't that loud, you know. Like, damn, man, there's no
He's
mercy.
good, yeah, he's good, yeah. No, I have no problem with LeBron, but he probably hasn't said as much in the past few years, but
Well, he's now like close to being a billionaire,
that's true, and also he's at the end of his career. He's got
Yeah, I got to think about life afterward. But I'm sure that, he's one guy. They always one of the criticisms, mostly from white people, about Jalen Brown is, oh, got to be the smartest guy in the room. So, well, when he's in Philadelphia, you got a guy in LeBron who's accomplished more than you,
right,
got more rings than you,
right,
and he's built the kind of empire that you probably want to build.
right.
You know, so he knows how to do that stuff. So there's probably something. You could always, and he's only 29. Jalen's like 30, 29, 30.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
I'm
he's
sure.
only
I'm sure he has
16.
the utmost respect for LeBron
Oh
James.
yeah, I'm
There's no
sure he
question
has
about
to. He
it. Right.
said it in one of his streaming things that
Hmm.
got him in trouble. He said, "Yeah, I love to learn." He said, "I love to learn. I
Right.
love to
Oh
learn.
well, here we go with the smart guy again. Come on, I
I
love to
love to learn."
learn.
Well, yeah, I love to learn. And who wouldn't want to learn from LeBron?
Oh,
You
here
know,
we go. He's too smart. He's too smart, Bill. Get him out of the league. He's
yeah.
too smart a guy.
Well, he can learn. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be like LeBron's going to be holding class. Okay, it's five
No,
o'clock
no,
today in the
no.
locker room. No, sometimes you just learn from older people just by things. Sometimes they don't even know you're watching.
Right.
Or they may say something, and you're like, I haven't really thought about that before.
Right.
You know, but it's always old and new, and just by definition, younger people just think they know more. He's an old guy, man. He knows.
Right.
But he always gets there before you do. You know,
Right. Right. Every
He-
time.
every time. Just how did that?
Still
What?
at age 41, still working harder than you.
How? What? How did that happen? So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Did you come to the? Did you come to the thing in Harlem? $40 million slaves.
Yes.
You were there, right?
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
I don't think we talked about that either, or did
What?
we? Maybe we
No,
did
we
talk
talked about
about
that.
that.
We did talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a couple podcasts since then.
Oh, good. Well,
We
that's
had
good because
one,
that was
and then
July 8th.
we also had Dusty Baker, which was a great one.
Oh yeah, Dusty Baker was a lot of fun. We may have to have him on. So I'm going to the NABJ in a few days,
Okay,
Thursday.
where is it at?
It's in Atlanta,
Okay,
and we're going to have another discussion. Um, it'll be more of a women-centric discussion of $40 million slaves,
okay.
and then I'm going out to Marcus
Hmm.
Bookstore in Oakland. Marcus
Mm.
Books is one of the oldest continuing black bookstores in the country, and there's the NBA player Marcus Moody.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm doing a discussion with Marcus Moody,
nice.
um,
Golden State, right?
Golden State. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, that'll be the summer tour, and by that time, maybe we'll know who's going to start for the Cleveland Browns. that's a I'm doing a series, a what do you call it? A commentary series called Burden of Proof.
Hmm.
Now you know what the burden of proof is. The burden of proof is 11 black quarterbacks. You know, we've done me and my colleague Jason Reed have done a lot of different series about the black quarterback, the
Hmm.
year of the black quarterback, black quarterback. So this one is burden of proof, and so the concept behind black quarterbacks always have to whether you're Lamar or even Patrick Mahomes, um, there's always this burden, whether it's are you too athletic, uh, whatever. It's always
Can
something.
you
So
can you read a defense?
can you read the defense? Now they call it pre-snap. How are you on pre-snap?
Uh,
How are you
how are
after the
you? How
snap?
is he with his progressions, Bill? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he's accurate. Accuracy has become the new
Right,
intelligence.
right, right, right,
That's become the new that's a code word. Is he
right.
accurate? Yeah,
Oh no, he's under 60%, Bill.
exactly.
Those are black problems. Black
Yeah,
problems.
yeah. So so the burden of proof. These quarterbacks have burdens of proof to begin the season. Obviously, Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders,
Right.
and that
And
you
what a
know
what
that
what a competition that I mean, just those two names right there, like
Deshaun
nothing. They don't
Watson,
have anything in common really. But
nothing at
those
all.
talk about two lightning rods for different
Oh my
reasons.
God, for different reasons, for different reasons. Deshaun Watson, and you're right, Todd Monken. Whatever choice he makes is wrong,
Right.
because if he starts Deshaun, the country is why do you start and then the Sanders family will never speak to him again.
Well,
And
here's I mean and I've been watching this one closely. Right. First of all, you
mm,
can't help it because you go on social media and they got guys giving you the stats every day of
mm,
these guys. Like they just they'll say, "Oh, Shador 16 for 22, zero TDs, zero interceptions." They'll have Deshaun Watson 11 for 22, two interceptions, zero touchdown. Then the funniest thing to me is Gabriel number three, two for five, no interception. I'm like, wait a second now. What's going on? Remember Stefanski? Did he
yeah,
draft this dude Gabriel
he
ahead of
drafted
Shador?
Stefanski.
Gave him the starting job before Shador. A new coach comes in, and now this guy is deep third string.
Right,
Okay,
competing
so
for third and fourth against the brother they brought in from Arkansas.
right, so what? It's making. I mean, we always question Stefanski with that. So now Stefanski's in Atlanta. I'm watching you, Stefanski, because I don't know. I can't understand what you were doing last year. So but of course he leaves, gets a job right away.
Right.
You know,
And then I got Michael Penix.
Michael
Michael
Penix.
Penix and the honorary brother, Tua Tagovailoa.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So
Right,
so
but
so
back to Cleveland. Right.
Mhm.
I don't understand. I really don't understand how it's really a competition. To
Well,
be
wait a minute.
honest,
Wait a minute. We may be on other side. So who do you think should get the job?
Shador should get the job. Or you can just like how are you going to give? First of all, Watson hasn't played in 2 years, and the last time he did play, he was horrible. Okay, then not to mention the off the field stuff. Not to mention if
You
you
just
hit.
mentioned it. He said, no, don't, you said, not to mention the, you just mentioned the off field stuff.
I did. That's fair. But
What does that have to do with anything? See,
no,
I
but
want
also don't aren't they wouldn't like they're paying him more, right? He's they're paying him all this money. What if
that's why
if
he's
he would
going to
have come
start.
in
They're
and
paying him
but what if he
$40
comes in and
million.
plays well? You're gonna pay him even more? Like what? Why would you even put
No.
yourself in that position? Go with Shador was promising last year. He had a promising like he was. You look at it, he was probably as good as any rookie. They were all bad. None of them, no rookie played well, and
Well,
he had the same flashes as Cam Ward did in
the better
Tennessee.
story is Shador. I mean, the better story is Deshaun Watson
You think
rising
so?
from the
Okay.
ashes, rising from the ashes.
Rising from
That
the ashes to throw 4 picks a game? Come on. We don't need
Well,
that.
we'll see. All right, we'll see. But they both carry burden. Now you're right. I
Right.
mean, Deshaun, his reputation is just terrible. I mean, he had a great reputation, and
Right.
then it
As a
was not.
winner. Right.
As a winner, as in college, and his first 2 or 3 years in the NFL were tremendous. And then he made the mistake. He made a lot of mistakes, but he made the mistake of being angry because the front office did not consult him about who was going to be the new coach and the new general manager.
Is he serious?
Yeah, well, he was a franchise quarterback, and then
Right.
they said, okay, well, you didn't you didn't say anything when we turned our blind eye to all the other stuff you were doing. So what happens if we like throw you under the bus too? And then that began the terrible slide of Deshaun Watson. So you know, I don't know. I mean, seriously, we are on different sides of this. Although you were more definitive. Listen, I was on and probably still am on the Shador train,
Right.
but I mean because it was a great story from
Right.
Jackson State,
Right.
with Dion and the whole
Right.
thing, and then
Right.
going to leaving Jackson, and then going to Colorado, and there was a bunch of hype, and was he great at Colorado? I don't know. I mean, you tell me,
I
was
mean,
he great
he
at
put up
Colorado?
big numbers.
Did they
He
win?
was very good. He was at least very good.
Yeah. Then, the draft, the slide of the draft, which I'm sure now that I'm hearing you, that's like you talk to somebody and all of a sudden, damn, I didn't know you talk like that. I know you were MAGA. Not saying that you're MAGA, but but you're definitely you're a Shadur zealot. You're a
No,
Shadur zealot. You're a
in
zealot.
this situation, I mean,
You're a zealot.
and this I'm saying he showed me enough last year. First of all, I mean, come on, he should have been ahead of Gabriel. Okay, so you do all that to him. I mean, the kid keeps a good attitude. He's always smiling. Like, what else do you want from him?
He has
Like
more money than
he
God.
didn't.
He's
That's
already
true, but
he had
he
a
didn't.
silver.
It's not like he was complaining about his situation at all, right? He never complained or anything. So
He was humble.
he's
That's because he was
right.
humble.
Well, maybe, but he steps in. He plays as well as any. Like he made rookie mistakes, but he was as good as he was the best quarterback they had in like 2 years. You remember when he passed? He had a couple of long touchdown passes. You remember Miles Garrett
Well,
acting
he
like
was
he had never
there.
seen that in years. Remember
Well,
that?
he hadn't, and now Wells Myers Garrett. Let
Right.
me get.
But he hadn't, and
He
Watson
had
had
not
been
seen
there.
it.
Watson was there the year before, not doing that. Gabriel, who was it, Flacco? Like it's just so what I don't understand. You drafted the guy, and then and this probably will happen. I think he probably will be the number one guy. So maybe I'm just getting excited for no
Eventually.
reason.
Well,
But
no, I mean, well. Listen, I don't know. There's something. Although I think that Watson, particularly if you were the father of any of the people of any of the masseuse, you probably never forgive him. Uh, I mean, seriously,
right,
but just as a dramatic story, if this guy would start the season and actually play really well, that's from the ashes story. Now, only problem from the ashes, then you have to tell the whole story. What were the ashes?
right,
The ashes were of your creation. And then, he may cool off, and here comes Shador. But listen, we've been arguing about this, and I'm sure, was he a fifth round draft pick or was he a number one draft pick who got shafted? And we've been arguing about that for the last going on what two seasons now. And so now hopefully this year, you and all the other, zealots, and that would be a good story too. I mean, we went to Oakland when he got his first start,
right,
and did well. And you're right. The longest completion, I think, in the last 5 years or something. I mean, it was like
right,
ridiculous. And right,
right,
Miles Garrett was
right.
like,
I couldn't believe it.
he
It
couldn't
was
believe it and all that. But the season still ended, you know, with Cleveland out of the playoffs.
but and he didn't. He probably. When did you think? What week was that in Oakland that you covered? Do you remember
It was
that?
probably like maybe 5 or
Really? Is
6
that
because
he got a
remember,
chance that fast?
well, maybe 6 or 7 because Gabriel had gotten hurt
That's
against the
right.
Baltimore Ravens. He got slammed.
Well, remember they started with Flacco,
Right. Then they traded Flacco.
then they gave
Remember,
it to Gabriel. Right,
right? They gave it to Gabriel, and he was. And listen, as Denny Green said, he was who we thought he was.
right.
He was who we thought he was.
No
He
question
was
about that.
efficient, but his ceiling, he had no ceiling. That's what you saw then was as good as it was going to get. You
Right,
know, and they
right,
brought in Shador, and he did. He still was holding on to the ball too long.
right,
He still got that hero ball that he tries to play.
right.
And they were trying to tell him, Shador, stop it. It's in my bones. I got to be the hero. I'm trying to.
But but it's interesting, right? Because you talk about, was he, should he have been the first pick, first round or whatever, instead of a fifth round pick? But then you look at Cam Ward, who went number one overall, and he was doing the same thing. He was hero ball. He was a rookie. I mean, these
Who?
guys like Cam Ward,
Well, he had to be. He had nothing.
Cleveland didn't
Cam.
have anything either.
Well, they had more. It's neck and neck. Who
I'm
has
just
more?
saying Cam Ward, who I saw good things from too. Like I'm not trying to kill Cam Ward, but I'm just saying like he had a rookie quarterback season. Like it's usually most times rookie quarterbacks struggle pretty.
And he
It's pretty
struggled.
rough, and he struggled, but he showed flashes, which was like,
Right.
okay, I can't wait to see him this year. I think Shador did the same thing. Remember they played? Did they play head to head at the end of the season?
Yeah, at the very same.
They
I was
both threw.
there.
They both had good games, right?
Yeah, and in fact, I was there. But Tennessee won.
That's right. They
Tennessee
did.
won.
They did.
But remember, it was a Shador. Didn't Shador want Cam Ward to record a rap lesson or a rap record or something?
I have
And
no
Shador
idea.
was like, "Brother, Cam was like, man, I play football, man. I ain't a rapper,
That
you
sounds
know."
right.
But
That
listen,
sounds
but
right.
people like people like Shador.
Mm-hmm.
His teammates apparently like him. Politically, I guess if you're paying a guy like Deshaun $40 million or whatever it is, they said he's gonna start. We're gonna see if we can squeeze any nickel or penny out of him, or
I
they may
guess
just get rid of him. I don't know. It just depends. But you're right. So anyway, so as I was saying before you rudely interrupted, uh, the burden of proof. So we agree that that's a burden,
no
right?
question.
Then the second one is, oh, speaking of Atlanta, is Michael Penix Jr.
And
Um,
Tua
and Tua. And
versus
guess
Tua,
who? And who's the coach down there? Uh,
Stefanski.
so Michael Penix Jr. has a burden to carry. Okay, here's my list. Here's my list. Number one, obviously we agree. Watson and Sanders. Who do you think between those two has the heaviest burden of proof?
I would say Watson is the heaviest burden.
Yeah, because it's not only on the field, it's off the field. He's
Yeah, and
still
even
trying to
on
clean up
even
his mess.
on the field, he was like pretty bad. Like the last couple years he played.
Right,
So
right.
if he really can truly recapture what he was, at this point, how long is that? Like 5-6 years ago, at least.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
he may be done. He may, but he's getting
or
paid.
or,
So
or not. So like you said, yeah, he has a heavy burden.
yeah. Michael Penix
He
in
has he,
Atlanta.
ha- he has a burden because he still hasn't proven himself. And he's also injury prone.
He's injured.
Going back
That's
to
another
college.
right. Injury prone. That's another label.
and
Injury
then I
prone.
give it to you, which is funny in football because everybody gets injured.
Everybody
But
gets injured. He gets injured more than most. Malik Willis in Miami.
definitely a burden because nobody knows if he's really good or not. He's only what did he play like? How many starts does he have in his career?
Well, remember last year at Green Bay after what's the name got hurt,
Right,
he came in and he
right,
played and maybe one game, but he played great.
right. Play great, and a lot of it was rushing yards. You know,
Yeah,
which
well,
I which I don't like to poo poo. We like
he
we like
can
when our quarterbacks run around. You know what I'm saying?
he'll run around. Jalen Hurts in Philly.
I think this is more like a contrived burden, like a media contrived burden. The guy has a Super Bowl for God's sakes.
Two
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl
two,
appearances, an
an
MVP.
MVP. Every year they win at least 10 games. Like he's good. He's been great his whole career. Now statistically, whatever. I don't. But he's a
But he
winner.
win.
He's a winner. But he has a slight burden just to show people. Like first of all, he has a. Remember, I think he has his seventh coordinator in as many years, which is wild,
Yeah.
right? So he has a burden to show they're changing the offense. Supposedly, it's going to be a more, West Coast style offense. So he has to prove that he can do that and prove that AJ Brown
Oh
is
my
the
God!
problem.
You knew the AJ Brown's problem. When they showed him with the book on the sideline, he said, "That's a problem."
Yeah, he's a
That
problem, man. He
he's
was
a
a
problem.
problem, man. I mean, but
He's a
he
problem.
was a typical wide receiver diva. So
Yeah, not everybody's on the sideline reading books.
no, yeah, come on, man. And it was always like he had to be the problem. And I give Hurts credit. Hurts never publicly, went. never said anything negative about AJ Brown publicly. He
He never
kept it.
killed him.
He never killed him. He's like, that's still my guy. So Hurts tried to stay, above the fray, but it's impossible. You can't do it.
Jaden Daniels.
Uh the injury thing, same thing.
Well, remember he was great his rookie year.
That's what I mean. Like that's the only burden he has is to show he's healthy because he was great. I mean, absolutely great. He had one of the best rookie years ever for a quarterback, right? And then next year he gets hurt and people forget about it and act like he's a bum.
Right.
Like
That's right.
nobody's talking about him. They're talking about Drake May. They're talking about all these other young quarterbacks, like even Caleb Williams. Like nobody is talking about uh, Jaden Daniels as if he didn't have one of the best rookie years ever just 2 years
But
ago.
that was then.
Right.
That was then. Cam Ward.
Typical burden of a second year QB. Like I said, he showed flashes that first year, but he has to show that he's the real deal.
Kyler Murray.
I mean, he has a burden every year, man.
He is a burden.
Yeah, he is a burden. He is a burden. And we talk about him when we do these the black QB rankings every year. Every year, in the first 5 weeks, he's right there at the top.
That's right. That's right.
And then by week 7, 8, he's nowhere to be seen.
Right, he's hurt.
Okay, so that's his burden is beyond. He has to have a real season. He can't just give me a half a season again.
Well, he even beat out. Will he beat out? What's the name in Minnesota? Will he beat out?
The rumor is that he's going to win that, but
he better. I mean, he should. I mean, if you can't beat this guy,
right,
Caleb Williams.
I don't know what burden he has, like in terms of like a true burden. I mean, obviously you can't come back and have a terrible season.
Of all the people on the list, you're right. He may not. I mean, he did some miraculous shit last year.
Miraculous.
Now miraculous.
Right.
Now you can't factor that in to the playbook. That was like some of the shit he did was miraculous. Like it probably will not happen again.
But isn't that his game? His whole even at USC, he was known for the miraculous. Like that was the thing.
Can you have a Hall of Fame career counting on miracles?
Well, Eli Manning did it.
Eli Manning. What?
I mean, Eli Manning was the miracle in the playoffs. Like he was just throwing it up there, people catching off their helmet. Come on, man. If it wasn't, if Eli Manning didn't have those Super Bowl runs, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Right. Well, that's true. In the Super Bowl, he wasn't a major factor. But anyway, Bryce Young.
Oh yeah, big time burden. He has to show that he's an actual starter. I mean, he looked decent at the end of last year. He has to build on that. He's still short, so he's going to have that against him. He has to prove that he can really do it. And going back to Caleb Williams, I think there is a burden on him because the expectations are higher this year. So there's a burden on
him. Right. And for some reason, maybe the way he carries himself,
right?
People are like, but he's a miracle worker. So
I talked to a coach, an NFL offensive coach recently. And we were talking about quarterbacks, and he was saying how Caleb, he was kind of talking about the difference between Caleb Williams and Drake May, and how Drake May is like he was, leadership wise, may not be all there. He's kind of more quiet. He said he's a different kind of leader, which kind of usually means he's not a leader.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
As compared to Caleb Williams, who he said was basically an asshole, but that resonates. He's an asshole, kind of like a Kobe Bryant asshole,
Right.
So he just carries himself differently,
right.
So he kind of thinks he is that,
right.
Which is part of it, right? That's part of it.
Right. That's an interesting take. You're right. Kind of like an asshole, but like a Kobe Bryant. He produces.
Right.
He produces.
Right.
So all right, asshole who produces. All right. Jordan Love.
Yeah, he has a burden, high expectations for the last few years. He has a burden every year because he does put up numbers. I'll give him that, but he hasn't won big games. He's still following a guy was somewhat similar in that way, Aaron Rodgers. Even though he did win one.
He did one Super Bowl,
right.
one in 20-something years.
Right, and was losing big time playoff games after that.
Every year, right.
But Jordan Love, he has to, because he gets all this hype. He has to he has to have it translate into like postseason wins.
Geno Smith.
He has no burden.
No burden. Really?
Anything he does is gravy. I don't even know what the Jets were thinking. I don't even understand what's going on there. Uh, I guess he's a placeholder for next year's draft. I guess. I mean, what burden is on him? It would be impressive if he's actually the quarterback the entire season. That would be.
Who is the backup?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I go.
What about I didn't put him on the list. What about Dak Prescott?
I don't. I mean, I guess playoff wins. That's the only thing. I mean, he's gonna put up monster regular season numbers. He's definitely a very very good quarterback. I guess he has a burden to show he's great and not just very good.
Yeah, his problem is that he's part of a circus. He's
Right.
like a circus act. When you play in the circus, people just don't take you serious. It's like you're the best player on the Harlem Globetrotters. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, you didn't really play. You didn't really play professional
Yeah,
football.
you just play in the Generals. Come
Yeah,
on.
you played Washington Generals all the time. He said, yeah, but so the Cowboys kind of like a circus. So
Right.
so Dak puts all these numbers. Yeah, but it's kind of like a clown show.
And also he has a great offense. Like
A
two
great
big
offense.
time wide receivers. So he's gonna put up numbers. He is a very good quarterback. He definitely gets too much negative stuff said about him. But yeah, I mean, he has to, in order to eliminate that, you got to win in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it. So that. Oh, and I didn't put. What about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar always has a burden as the preeminent black QB in the league. He always has a burden. He has the entire black race on his as his burden, so they can finally accept black QBs forever. If he wins a ring or two, I'm gonna see I put
A, just
plural
to start with A
A
Ray.
Ray, or even gets to the Super Bowl because he has to do
Because
that.
yeah, to me, he represents. If he get it, it'll be the blackest Super Bowl if he gets there, because he's the guy who's sort of like if they put his picture in the dictionary under athletic athletic black quarterbacks who should be wide receivers. I mean, that's that's what I always said about him, right?
Right, no
Bill
question.
Polian, that he
Right.
should be a wide receiver. So if he was to the Super Bowl, that would finally be the put down of all that stuff. Okay, what about Mahomes?
Yeah, injury. I mean, is he the same guy? Can he come back and be the same guy or better? Uh,
Right.
because it's how many years has it been since he won? I mean, I hate that sounds stupid even saying that, but
Well,
because he has what? How many rings does Mahomes have?
he's got like what is it, three or
Two or
four?
three? I think three.
Is it
And
at
he's
least three?
been
At
to
least
about
three.
five.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, what are we talking about? But I mean, because the last couple of years, statistically, he hasn't been a top five guy, statistically. But you look at his team, like what help did he really have, especially at the wide receiver position? So
Because
um,
Kelsey was worried about getting married. Maybe
exactly,
now that he's married, you know,
maybe.
I
But he's
don't
also,
know.
Kelsey's, how old is Kelsey now? 35, 36?
Something like that.
Yeah,
And then he's going to be going to go on tour with his wife.
yeah, yeah.
Be a road. He's going to be a road manager.
He has a lot on his plate.
A lot of all right, and then last but not least, your boy and my brother's boy, Justin Fields. What about Justin Fields?
He has no burden this year, Bill. He's chilling. He's just soaking it in, trying to learn from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. So next year, when he gets another shot somewhere, even as a backup to begin with, he'll still only be about 26, Bill. Then we'll see what he learned, and then I guess he'll get some preseason starts because Mahomes won't start in the preseason. I'm pretty sure with the knee. Uh, so I'm just happy Justin Fields got out of New York, or at least New York
It's New
Jets.
York. It's New York's fault. It's New York's fault. Like it's Pittsburgh's fault.
Well, he played compared to the Jets. He played great in Pittsburgh. I'll tell you that.
And
But
then Russell Wilson starts the season in the booth.
so he has a heavy burden, so he can be a big
An
time
analyst.
analyst, in the Tony Romo vein. But I don't know. He seems like he's going to be a little straight and narrow, very conservative. I could see him being like the Grant Hill of NFL
Grant
announcers.
Hill.
Even though Grant Hill's done very well for himself in that
Grant
situation.
Hill's done great for himself, no
Right,
question about it.
right.
Anybody? So there you have it. That's going to be our commentary season. I'm going to steal most of your remarks, Jamal. You'll notice them. I'll say thank you. There are too many. There are too many for me to thank, but I'll steal all of them.
uh, but wait, I'm
So
trying to
yeah, the
think.
burden of
Did you
proof.
did you forget anybody? I'm trying to think if there's any other
I
black
thought I'd
quarterback.
forgotten Lamar
Mahomes. You hadn't.
and
Yeah,
Dak.
Mahomes. You just brought up. That's who
Fields,
I
I
was
just
thinking.
threw him in. Is there
Yeah,
any other
Fields.
brother who we? Is that it? Is there any brother that we forgot?
There's got to
Oh,
be.
Jameis Winston. He's not starting.
Nah. He's like an assistant coach right now.
Yeah,
And I'm happy with, like the lane he's made for himself because he's like the leadership guy. He's the
right.
guy you bring in to be a leader. I think he's still with the
He,
Giants, right?
yeah, he's gonna be like Barkley. I'm
Right.
talking about Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Wait till he gets out. Yeah.
Oh
He'll
my
be like
God,
he could be a Charles
he'll
Barkley
be the
type.
NFL Charles Barkley. You
Right.
know. Anybody else we mentioned? All those other guys. Oh, the guy in New Orleans is not there. Rattler. I don't even know if Rattler's there.
Let
There
me
was
see.
another black quarterback who.
Oh
Your
yeah.
boy at Indianapolis.
I don't know Richardson. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't
They
know what
didn't
his
cut him.
story
He's
is.
still there.
But the job is still Daniel Jones's job. So he comes in as at least the second string. The guy we're forgetting is C.J. Stroud.
Oh my God, he should be number one. That's what I think. C.J. Stroud should be number one after
Yeah,
the stunt he pulled in the playoffs.
yeah.
C.J. Stroud.
That might have been one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a guy who's supposed to be pretty good. Um, and he's another one. He had a great rookie year. Remember that? He had that.
Great rookie
He
year.
had a great rookie year, and then was never able, injury or not. Like he was pretty healthy when you think about it. Like he was never able to duplicate that, and and he's just been pretty average the last
And the
couple of years.
receiver, one of his receivers got hurt
Yeah, when the receivers got hurt.
second
So,
year.
so you're right. He might be the number one guy. Like in just
He
football
may be number
terms.
one.
Yeah, just straight football. He has a lot to prove.
Right.
Um,
C.J. Stroud. I mean, Shador, the reason why Shador and Watson is because it's just two extreme situations. Watson was on top of the world, and his reputation was stellar, we thought, and then the whole thing just caved in on him.
right.
And I remember when the Browns made that huge, they gave him unprecedented guaranteed contract. So you're right. So that's why that's extraordinary. And then your boy Shador, just because, as I say, he's a creation of a hype machine. You disagree. You think that he's actually, but Stroud had a great freshman year, like Jaden Daniels. Who has a heavier burden, C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels?
I think Stroud because it'd be like Stroud is further along, so it would almost be similar to if Jaden Daniels was just average this year. What would be his burden next year, right? So
Right.
that's where we are with C.J. Stroud, where he's had two average seasons after a big time season, and Jaden Daniels was hurt. The only reason he
Right.
didn't have a great season last year was he's hurt. When he was in there, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Was he as good as rookie? No, but because he was running around probably more, and then he ends up getting himself hurt. But yeah, Stroud was like, and Stroud's a guy I rooted for pretty hard. So it was like, I'm just scratching my head, like, what's going on here?
And the Houston has a great defense.
Right.
A
Yeah.
great
Exactly.
defense.
So
I mean,
they're going to be good. Right.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, against New England, had he just played average, they may have won that game because the defense was making Drake May look like an amateur. Well,
Right.
he is an amateur.
Right. But Drake May didn't have a good game either, but it was better than C.J. Stroud.
It's better than C.J. Stroud. So there you have the list. Black quarterbacks with a burden of proof.
I like that. I like
a
it.
series.
I like
so
it.
Stay
But
tuned.
and I'll just say, just in the NFL in general, it's not it's not even just a racial thing because I'm looking at there's a lot of white quarterbacks who have a burden of proof this year too. Josh Allen, he has to win.
But does he have really a burden? It's the white man's burden.
Exactly, it's a white man's burden. But I think because I still hear it. I still hear people like, "Oh, is this Josh Allen's year? Is this Josh Allen's year?" Like
Well, he
they
won the
basically
MVP.
they basically treat him and Lamar the same. Like, are
Who
they ever
else?
going
What
to
other
get
white?
there?
What, well, yeah.
The guy
Who else?
from San Diego was it?
Oh
What's it?
yeah, he's
Or
got the.
rather, or L.A.
What's his
Chargers.
name?
Sorry,
The
uh,
LHO.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. The white man's burden. The white man's burden and the black man's burden.
It's a different burden.
Which is heavier? Who has
Oh,
the heaviest
please.
burden?
The black man's burden is much heavier because you might be out the league. You know what I'm saying? Even like if Justin Herbert has another average season, they're still going to be saying he's top 5 next year.
What about the boy in Jacksonville? He was a white man's burden.
Same thing. Same thing. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah. Though
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has a burden, but I'm sure he'll,
the
like
white
it's
man's burden. Listen, man, the white man's burden, the white black quarterback's burden is not as heavy.
no.
And none of these guys. I mean, even you mentioned Allen was the first, but Allen's burden isn't the same as Lamar's. I mean, they think Lamar should have been like a wide receiver.
Yeah, Josh Allen. They should have. Why did we hear he should have been a fullback?
But he's a tight end or something.
A tight end. Yeah. How come we never heard that?
What about any other white man's burdens? Boy in Indiana.
I mean, he's coming off the Achilles. They'll probably give him some
more
grace.
the white man's burden, like the kid in.
Drake May has the white man's burden.
Really?
Yeah, because he had a great rookie year, but
he went to the Super Bowl.
Right, but he was very average. They had the easiest schedule in the league. So I think there is a little. They're going to give him grace.
The head coach has a burden in that organization.
That's right. And now he has A.J. Brown supposed to take him over the top.
He probably will take him over the top. He'll push him over the edge.
There you go.
He said, Coach, how am I supposed to deal with this?
Right.
He's reading books on the field.
What about Joe Burrow? Again, like you said, the white man's burden is not as much of a burden, but he just has the little, like, it's been a while now, Joe Burrow.
He just got a lunch pail.
Can you stay healthy? How about that? They don't talk about him. This guy talk about injury prone.
This dude gets hurt all the time.
So,
but I don't see him. He always gets a pass.
He does.
Joe Burrow. Only person you mentioned that I kind of agree with you with is Joshua. But each of those guys you mentioned get passes.
Right.
Allen, Herbert. I mean, I'm listening to the games with Herbert, and God, that's what we look at that. Jesus Christ, that guy, and they blame the defense, all those guys you met, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. Remember when they start getting good, they were like, now that's the Trevor Lawrence, that's the Trevor Lawrence we've been waiting to find,
Right. No, you're right. You're right about
Drake
that.
May,
I got a good one though.
Who?
How about this guy?
Don't mention the guy. Who? Oh, Jackson Dart?
Jackson Dart, Giants. Does he have a burden?
What burden does he have? What burden does he have? He had no burden, man. They want this guy to be the mayor. They want this guy to be the mayor. They want him to be Trump's running mate.
He was a rookie last year. It was okay. He was okay as a rookie. I don't even know if he was much better than Shador. I'm not sure.
What burden does Jackson Dart have?
I mean, they said he's going to be a franchise guy. Are we going to see that this year? We didn't see it as a rookie.
But the burden means that there's a consequence for you failing. And what's the consequence for him? What's the consequence for him?
That they'll draft a quarterback next year if he's garbage. If he's not good this year,
then he'll go to New Orleans. What about the kid?
That's true. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Jackson. I mean, none of these guys you mentioned, maybe that's the secondary story. The white man's burden is not as heavy as the black man's burden.
No, not even close. Not even
because nobody's intelligence is being doubted. Nobody's leadership ability is being touted.
Maybe leadership, but definitely not the intelligence. They're not gonna say he should have played wide receiver or we told you so.
Right. Well, he can't read. He can't. He can't process. He can't process information.
And the key to that burden is the fact that these black guys, if they are unsuccessful, people transfer that to other black guys. They don't do that to the
Exactly.
white guys. If
Right.
Jackson Dart fails, they're not gonna say, "Oh, these white quarterbacks they can't do it."
Yeah. And now they're waiting. Now they're waiting for the kid from Texas, Manning.
Right? Yes. 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 No question.
Unbelievable. It's
Meanwhile,
unbelievable.
you got the guy Trinidad was from Ole Miss last year who lit up college. He's coming back, and I still don't hear people talking about it.
Yeah. Well, you won't. So there we go. The burden. All right. So um, we successfully killed 45 minutes. We didn't
Yes.
think we didn't think we'd be able to get through it, but the WNBA is exciting. A lot of issues, and listen, the WNBA should embrace the fact that you know there are other issues because it's a league of women and black women, and as um, paternalistic and what's the word um, what's the word misogynist as our society is, any league that's driven by women and by black women is going to be a target for everything. No, but why do you think before we leave, why do you think that women's basketball is such a target, but everybody loves women's tennis? And during the
I mean,
Olympics, everybody
oh,
loves
because
women's gymnastics. Everybody loves women's track and field.
yeah, I mean the track is the only one similar in terms of like it's dominated by black women. But tennis is not dominated by black women. There's a few. There's more and more a year. Kind of like kind of like the black quarterbacks. Um,
Women's gymnastics, I mean,
yeah,
our whole
gymnastics.
Olympic team, our Olympic team, well, it
That's
seemed
true.
like it was, but there were a lot of black women on that Olympic. Maybe Simone Biles made it seem like it was all black team, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, the women's basketball has the other dynamic of a lot of gay women, openly gay women, not afraid to
right,
speak out.
right,
They don't like that. So
yeah. So is it that the NBA is just heavily closeted? I mean, how does it make sense that you've got the WNBA was very open with many women and same sex relationships and all that? Then the men's league, like none. It was like we don't play that, we don't do that, or I don't know, you know.
yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some societal reasons for that, like
Mm.
who's accepted, who's not. Um, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
maybe that'll be your next story. You know,
Uh,
you,
no, but I had my next story. I should do. Remember, I did the AAU, the elite level AAU, and now I need to do the lower level AAU from lower elementary to middle school because I saw some wild stuff this weekend, Bill. Saw some wild
yeah.
stuff.
Is that doing what? This is with the
Basketball
adventures of your son.
adventures of my 7-year-old basketball player playing in the Bronx and having the head coach and a father on the stands berate each other over whose child is worse. How about that?
Who's worse?
At eighth grade, you know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable. Really?
I mean,
What
eight
like?
eight years old, not eighth grade. 8 years
What
old.
were they doing? What was he doing?
Oh
He wouldn't play him.
no, the coach on my son's coach, good guy, but he has a son on the team who's pretty good, um, especially for his age, very good. And we were playing against another team who had a pretty good 8-year-old, right? And I guess the father of that 8-year-old and my coach must have a history. they must have. They
How much of
probably
a history
they
can you
probably they
have?
probably grew up together or something like that in the Bronx, and one of them used to get the better of the other. So now it's about my kids. It's about who's better. My kid's busting your kid's ass. Your kid's soft. Your kid is
Oh,
soft. Like
oh
during the
no,
game. Like
oh no.
you're talking about 8-year-olds. He's calling an 8-year-old soft.
Unbelievable, unbelievable,
Oh,
unbelievable.
it's just crazy, man.
Well,
And
we
then
may
just
have to.
all the dynamics. That's just one example, Bill. It's just crazy out here.
Well, we may have to have you and Khalid Green come on this podcast to talk about that dynamic.
Yeah,
You know, talk
yeah,
about the
no,
whole youth sports
it's
dynamic, which is crazy.
it's and I don't know if I told you, we had a baseball game. My 7-year-old also, a 7U baseball game that turned into a near riot.
Oh no!
Okay, like with the parents of the other team, they were like taunting our kids, and
What?
then the parents get in a fight. There's like bottles flying
What?
and
No!
chairs flying. I'm like, are
No!
you like?
No!
It's just unbelievable. It's
What?
unbelievable. Like refusing, like one of our kids, like the mom had issues with the other team from like in the past, and she tells her son not to. First of all, she tells her son not to shake their coach's hands.
Oh God!
So that started
Unbelievable!
like damn near riot, Bill.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Where are we, man?
7U, 7 years,
Unbelievable!
7-year-old baseball.
That's a story, man. You got that. That's a good story. Although you're gonna have to name names.
Exactly.
Are these white parents, black parents, both parents?
In this case, it was like Dominican, Puerto Rican,
Oh, I don't know. See
but
that.
and a couple white parents in there.
This is baseball.
Yeah, baseball. In the basketballs, it was two black guys.
That I figured. That I figured. Oh,
Uh,
brother, can't we all just get along? All right, man. Well, listen. Well, seriously, this may be a whole segment. Maybe you bring the coach on. Maybe you'll bring the coach on our podcast,
I
and he
should.
could he could if he come on, we'll have him on
Right,
as
right.
a coach. What?
What's going on out
What's
here,
going
man? What's
on,
going on
coach?
out here? You know.
All right. All right, man. I think we hit it all, right?
Yeah,
We hit the quarterbacks, we hit the WNBA, we hit the scourge of transgender athletes, the
the
flood
flood.
of
Oh my God!
transgender
There's
flood coming into
they
the
might have a whole trans team, Bill.
yeah,
The way it
that'll be
sounds.
a particular franchise. That'll be one franchise called the Trans.
Exactly. To the listeners, thanks for listening as always. We appreciate it. You could find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, share, all that. Keep following us on social media at BrosPod, on Twitter at BrosPod, on Instagram, Bill Roden on Sports, on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So you should go into our archives and find one of the very first uh Bros Pod. I don't know if he was even called Bros Pod back then. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. But get the one we did with Sugar Ray Leonard. And
Mm.
the other one, remember we did with DeAndre, didn't we do DeAndre Wilder?
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, we should
Mm-hmm.
bring back DeAndre Wilder and Sugar Ray Leonard. Bring back
I
that.
gotta go listen to that Wilder one again because I
Yeah, that
wonder what
was
he was talking about back then.
yeah, that was pretty good. That's when he had potential.
Yeah, that's before he probably was fighting, like before he had won anything, and obviously before he lost it.
Yeah, but we are there first.
Right,
Remember, he
right,
said he was so tired. Remember, he let somebody knock him out because he was just so tired. Yeah.
right, right.
Anyway, hey, well, listen, man, it's been a long run, and hope everybody enjoyed the summer. Um, Looking forward to an exciting WNBA season, minus what it's all part of the issues. Looking forward to the start of the camp. We're going to see whether it's going to be Deshaun Watson or your boy Shador, Jamal's boy Shador.
Well, according to the training camp stats that come out on Twitter all the time, Shador's winning the battle, but I'm not there, so I don't know if I can vouch for that.
Only stat that matters is $40 million they're paying.
I hear that.
They're paying. So we're gonna see what we get out of this kid. All right, everybody. Listen, we will see you hopefully next week. I mean, hopefully we won't let another 2 or 3 weeks go by. But it's summertime.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
Vacations.
we're all summering, and I was on Martha's Vineyard for a few days. Fun.
How was that?
Yeah, it was the vineyard. It was
Mm-hmm.
kids running around.
Right, right, right.
Now I have two grandchildren. The oldest is like loving it. It's all good. All good. All right, man. Everybody, we will see you next week. Continue to keep those prayers rolling Don't take your eye off the ball. Look at this, not that. See you guys next week.